The legendary Oracle of Omaha has written his final letter to shareholders. But it's not just any letter, it's arguably his greatest ever, because his final words are filled with wisdom, humility, and deep reflection on both his personal life and his leadership in Berkshire. In this video, we'll dive into the letter and explore how Buffett extends his influence beyond investing and business by sharing insights into philanthropy, wealth management, family, and his core principles. It's definitely not one to miss if you're a fan of the greatest investor ever. Monday, November 10th. Buffett announces this would be the day of his last shareholder letter. After decades of writing them and talking at Berkshire's annual meetings, he's decided it's time to step back. In his own words, "I will no longer be writing Berkshire's annual report or talking endlessly at the annual meeting. As the British would say, I'm going quiet, sort of." Let's break down the most powerful insights and takeaways from Warren Buffett's final letter to Berkshire's shareholders. One of the key themes in Buffett's final letter is his approach to giving back. He revealed that he recently changed 1,800 Class A shares to 2.7 million Class B shares, a move designed to distribute them across 4 charity foundations, valued at over $1.3 billion. Buffett explained that his surprisingly long life means he needs to speed up his charitable giving. He wrote that he wants his family foundations to carry out his philanthropic goals during his lifetime, rather than waiting too long and risking confusion or poor decisions later on. He also admitted that his earlier plans for grand philanthropic projects had not worked out. Over the years, he's seen too many examples of wealth being misused, whether by political figures, family dynasties, or misguided donors. Buffett's message is simple: do good while you can and do it wisely. In his Thanksgiving letter, Buffett emphasized that he's accelerating his charitable plans. Specifically, the pace of transferring his Berkshire shares to his children's foundations. The reason? His family, like him, are getting older, and he wants them to be able to manage the distribution of his wealth in their lifetime. In his own words, doing so should improve the probability that they will dispose of what will essentially be my entire estate before alternate trustees replace them. He emphasized that this decision isn't about changing his view on Berkshire's outlook, but rather ensuring that his philanthropic goals are carried out efficiently and thoughtfully. Despite the scale of his generosity, Buffett reminded shareholders that his outlook on Berkshire remains unchanged, and his confidence in the company's long-term strength is as firm as ever. Since 2006, Buffett has given away over half of his Berkshire shares, with a significant portion going to the Gates Foundation. Still, he remains Berkshire's largest shareholder, owning nearly 14% of the company, a stake worth roughly $148 billion, according to Forbes. After his passing, his 3 children will manage a charitable trust containing nearly all his remaining wealth. Notably, donations to the Gates Foundation will cease after his death, as the family foundations will assume full responsibility for the remainder of his philanthropic vision. Buffett also spoke candidly about succession and family wealth. He believes that planning for the future isn't just about money, it's about trust, preparation, and timing. He mentioned that he plans to hold a portion of Berkshire's stock until shareholders become as confident in Greg as they were in himself and Charlie Munger. Buffett shared his pride in his 3 children, saying they are mature and intelligent enough to manage the family's wealth responsibly. He trusts them to adapt to changes in tax laws or philanthropic trends long after he's gone. Buffett will officially end his time as Berkshire Hathaway's CEO, with Greg Abel taking over leadership from the beginning of next year. However, he will stay on as chairman to guide Greg Abel as he takes the spotlight. The letter states that he plans to hold on to a significant amount of Class A shares for a short period, which will help give shareholders time to build trust in Greg. He wrote, "I would like to keep a significant amount of shares until Berkshire shareholders develop the comfort with Greg." Buffett added that his children and the entire Berkshire board are backing Greg fully, and he expects shareholders will soon share that same confidence. But Warren Buffett didn't just introduce Greg Abel. He endorsed him with total confidence. He wrote, "I can't think of a CEO, a management consultant, an academic, a member of government, you name it, that I would select over Greg to handle your savings and mine." Additionally, Buffett mentioned Greg is a hard worker and an honest manager. Greg Abel continues to earn investor confidence through his leadership and capital allocation skills, which are areas Buffett claims he understands far better than I do. He then turned his attention to investing by assuring shareholders that Berkshire is far more resilient than most other businesses he's seen. With a shareholder-focused management team and strong foundations laid by the legend himself, it's clear to see why. Still, he reminded readers that volatility is inevitable, noting that Berkshire's stock has dropped by around 50% 3 different times over the past 60 years. His message? Don't panic. America has bounced back before, and so has Berkshire. Buffett also took the opportunity to reflect on Berkshire's performance and its future under new leadership. After taking over a struggling textile business in 1965, he transformed Berkshire into a massive trillion-dollar conglomerate, home to almost 200 businesses, including Geico, BNSF Railway, See's Candies, and Dairy Queen. The company is well known for its significant investments in Coca-Cola, Apple, American Express, and others. However, Berkshire has a staggering $381.7 billion in cash and only $283.2 billion in stock holdings, which clearly indicates caution towards the stock market. Buffett described Berkshire as having a lower likelihood of disaster than most companies. With such a large cash position, it's easy to see why. Berkshire has been selling stocks for the last few years. Still, operating profits jumped 34% for the previous quarter, showing that its core businesses continue to thrive. Buffett did admit that Berkshire's enormous scale is both a strength and a limitation. While it's built for durability, its size makes it harder to outperform smaller, more nimble competitors. Regarding his health, Buffett gave a rare update. "To my surprise, I generally feel good," he wrote. "Though I move slowly and read with increasing difficulty, I am at the office 5 days a week." After 6 decades of writing Berkshire's annual shareholder letters since 1965, Buffett announced that Greg Abel will take over that duty as well. Meanwhile, Buffett will continue to write his annual Thanksgiving letters. His tone turns especially heartfelt when he talks about his great friend and vice chairman, Charlie Munger. He described Munger as someone who shaped his thinking and whose guidance he deeply valued. Buffett also shared words of encouragement for his children. He told them they don't have to do incredibly well or live without mistakes, although they need to do a bit better than average and keep learning. By the way, if you're learning something new, please feel free to click the like button. Thank you. In one of the most touching sections of the letter, Buffett reflected on what it means to live well. He said, "Greatness does not come from accumulating vast sums of money, publicity, or power. When you help someone in any of thousands of ways, you help the world. Kindness is costless, but priceless." He also encouraged readers to stay grateful, saying that while America offers incredible opportunities, rewards are distributed unevenly. His words remind us that generosity and gratitude are the true measures of success and not wealth or fame. Toward the end of his letter, Buffett summed up his life philosophy. Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. Learn a little from them and move on. It is never too late to improve. Get the right heroes and copy them. Those final lines perfectly capture Buffett's humility and optimism. Even after 95 years, he's still learning, still improving, and still guiding millions through his example. He praised Greg Abel's leadership, saying that he understands Berkshire's many businesses and people even better than he does. Buffett wrote, "I can't think of a CEO, management consultant, academic, or government leader I would rather trust with your savings and mine." Warren Buffett's final letter isn't just the end of an era, but rather a timeless guide to investing and life in general. He reminds us that wealth means nothing without purpose, that mistakes are lessons, and that kindness is the greatest return of all. He announced his philanthropic plan in 2006, and since then, he has donated over $60 billion. If he had used that money to compound over the decades, it's likely his net worth would be higher than the wealthiest man alive today. But it wasn't about that. Instead, it was about giving back to society, and that's why he continues to pledge to give his fortune by giving $500 million per year to each of his 3 children. His children, now age 72, 70, and 67, are in Buffett's words at their prime in respect to experience and wisdom. He's already one of the all-time greatest philanthropists, and he'll definitely be one of the biggest ever if he gives over 99% of his wealth away. Jamsetji Tata, the founder of the Tata Group, donated approximately $102 billion, while Bill and Melinda Gates have given over $74 billion. Buffett comes next, with over $60 billion donated, but he'll likely surpass the others after giving away 99% of his wealth. For Buffett, it wasn't about making his children and the many generations to follow incredibly wealthy. His kids worked regular jobs. Howard was a farmer and photographer, Susan was a philanthropist, and Peter was a musician and composer. None of his children are billionaires, even though they are all well past the age of retirement. Some may feel he should have given his children an incredible lifestyle with billions. However, Buffett knew they would lead better and more purposeful lives without it. His children still have great wealth compared to the average American. Buffett didn't give much of his wealth to his children because he believes excessive inheritance can hinder motivation and personal growth. Instead, his philosophy is to leave them enough to do anything, but not so much that they can do nothing at all. He believes society would be better off if more wealthy individuals gave away most of their fortunes, instead of leaving most of it to the next generation. In my opinion, Warren Buffett is not only the greatest investor of all time, but also one of the wisest and most generous individuals ever. He's a true role model many can look up to, with achievements unlikely to be beaten. Buffett leaves us with a message that will outlast any portfolio. Stay humble, stay generous, and always keep learning. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this fascinating story about a secret investing legend often referred to as the Chinese Warren Buffett. Also, please feel free to click the like button and subscribe if you found value in this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.